everyone. Welcome to the High Five Access Media orientation video. So, quick intro to me. My name is Casey Russell. I'm our Education and Engagement Manager. I've been with High Five since December of 2022, and I handle a lot of the big picture planning for our education initiatives. So, this means that we'll most likely be seeing each other at volunteer events and similar types of engagements. Most of our workshops are taught by Brett Ferraro, who's our education and production assistant, and they have a wide background in filmmaking, so they're the perfect resources to teach all these workshops. And between the two of us, you'll be in good hands, and we're excited to meet you. So welcome. So what is community media? These are organizations that are here to help people express themselves, capture local culture, tell stories, and connect with one another through technology. So this includes some other types of organizations like community radio stations, like zines, community publications, and public access TV, which is what we are. So the way public access TV works is that cable companies are paying local municipalities a portion of their profits from cable subscribers as rent, and we call those a franchise fee in the industry. The cable company is also providing channel space for locals to express their ideas, and the towns can choose to use the franchise fees to fund public access TV. So Vail and Avon provide franchise fees for us to exist, so we're grateful for their partnership, and it's a super fruitful one, and we're happy to be with them. So Mike Wassenaar, he is the president and CEO of the Alliance for Community Media. He's basically the biggest advocate community media has in the country, and he was gracious enough to give an interview at High Five in our podcast studio in October of 2025. Basically just talking all about community media and why it's important. But this quote from his interview I thought was super powerful and demonstrates, what we add to the conversation. So we're part of a spectrum of community-based organizations that care about local culture, freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom of political expression, and civic education. And we do all of those things. That's why we're here, and we care about providing that to the community. You may be familiar with some public access parodies. So we've got Wayne's World. It's a classic based off, the premises that it's a public access TV show, if you weren't aware. And then with Between Two Ferns, it's based off of the trope of a public access TV show where it's, just a black background with some fake ferns on it. So both are hilarious. Highly recommend watching. So why is community media important? It's now easier than ever to tell your story. We've got all these publishing tools at the tip of our fingertips between social media and YouTube and Twitch and Amazon. But the thing is, those companies are first and foremost corporations, and they're out for their own interests. They're out for their own profits. And unfortunately, hyperlocal content and content from smaller creators doesn't always sell. So that means they won't necessarily put any resources towards it. But that doesn't mean that those stories and those voices are not important. So that's why we're here. We're here to put those resources together for you. We're here to give you a platform to uplift your own voice and to empower you to use these platforms in a way that builds that following for you. So, we're all about just kind of supporting you in as an individual and as a creator, where these companies are not necessarily interested in doing that. So, that's a big reason why we encourage you to get involved with us and to stay involved, because we have all of these resources for you available. So how can I get involved? Once you are through with your membership and orientation, you can start by learning. And this is a really great way to start if you're new to filmmaking in any way. So you can take workshops and all that sort of stuff. But then as soon as you take the workshops, this Create avenue is open to you as well. So you can start making studio reservations and equipment reservations as soon as you're trained. Say you don't have a concrete idea of your own, but you still want to be involved with shooting stuff. You can volunteer, so via Game of the Week and Vail America Days, and we have more opportunities for that as well. So yeah, you can move between any of these tracks at any time. It's sort of a choose your own adventure type of thing in regards to how you can be involved with us. So we've operated in the Vail Valley as Vail Valley Community Television since 1985. In 2015, we became High Five Access Media, which kind of better reflects that we're a digital media center rather than just a TV station. And then our core initiatives are media education, which we're talking about pretty extensively here. We also serve as a community video hub for nonprofits, the local schools, any other kind of locally made content of a non-commercial nature. And we also provide gavel-to-gavel local government coverage. Our mission is to empower the local community through media education and technology to become civically engaged, express ideas, and advocate for causes. So that all means we believe in free speech. We believe in education for everyone, regardless of identity. And we believe in civic engagement and having access to transparent government coverage. We cover Vail and all of its subcommittees, as well as Avon and some of its subcommittees. We also cover Eagle Vale Metro District, Eagle Valley School Board, Minturn Town Council, and a full list of all the other entities we cover is available on our website. So what do you get with membership? The volunteer and learning opportunities, we'll talk about that more. Same as staff expertise and mentorship. We offer free equipment and studio access. And all of this presents like a huge value for your time. So say, for example, you want to rent a camera for 8 hours from a local production house. That's going to cost you thousands of dollars. If you want to take a similar class to Camera Basics at a community college, it's going to cost you several thousands of dollars. And we, try to keep it succinct and, choose your own adventure so that you can just kind of like learn what you need to learn and go do the thing. We also really encourage our members to take advantage of the network that we have between other community producers, as well as who we know in the community. We're all pretty well connected. So Brett grew up in the Valley. JK, our executive director, has been with High Five for 20 years and knows many people in the nonprofit space. So he's a really great resource to get involved with anybody in that field if you're interested in that. But yeah, we just, encourage you to take advantage of the membership to its fullest because you get a lot for the small annual fee that you pay. So general policies and procedures, the full scope of responsibilities for producers is outlined in the member handbook, which you should have received when you signed up for membership. If you haven't received that, let me know and I will get you a copy. But basically the key points from that is that all content created must be intended for and submitted to High Five. You as a member are responsible for your own creative content. So you get to keep your copyright, which is great for you. You can do whatever you want with your video. However, if we get feedback about your video, I'm just going to forward them right to you and let you handle the feedback. There's types of restricted content that we do not show on our channels and don't allow producers to create. So the main one is going to be commercial content. So if you're a business, sorry, you cannot make a commercial using our equipment for free and then make money off of your commercial. We also do not allow showing any active crime. So if you wanted to post your Ring camera footage of somebody breaking into your car, you could not do that. fictionalized content of that nature is okay. There's also a pretty lengthy section about hate speech and other vulgar speech in the member handbook. It's not strictly prohibited, but there are a number of stipulations around that kind of speech. So if you feel like what you're going to say may veer into that territory, please read the handbook. And again, like, we're open for questions and to talk through things if you need to discuss. We've never had any issues with it, so not anticipating anything, but just be mindful that, you know, we're a public station, but that doesn't mean we're free for all. So personal conduct, we expect our producers to be respectful, courteous, have a positive attitude, which, you know, hopefully isn't too challenging. And we also expect our members to be punctual and on time for reservations and stuff like that. It's, you know, pretty important in this industry to be where you say you're going to be, because something usually goes wrong at some point. So, you know, having that time built in to take care of anything is really important. So, yeah. Again, read the member handbook for the full scope, but yeah, and reach out with any questions. Okay, so I'm going to breeze through this section pretty quickly because I have a video that will show you how to sign up for everything. Pause if you want to read this in full, but here's workshops, makerspace events, mentorship, lab hours. Oh, and our studio policies and procedures. So when you park at the studio, please try to park in spots labeled 203. So we have 2 that are directly in front of the building and 1 that's on the back retaining wall. And that should make a little bit more sense once you arrive if you haven't been to the studio before. But yeah, parking is limited in the area, so just try to be mindful of that. And yeah, again, you can call us or email us if you have any questions about arriving. So to volunteer, like I said earlier, we have the Vail America Days Parade, and typically we hire or source camera operators and social media managers for that. So camera operator, you're operating the main camera that runs the whole thing. And we usually have a couple people taking turns on that. And then we'll have a couple of different cameras. So one might be manned by our staff, one might be like a static lock-off camera, and then you'll be on one that's kind of capturing more of a mid-range shot. Social media managers will work with me to post on our social media. And then game of the week, similar. So when we cover local high school sports via YouTube live stream, we have camera operators, social media managers. We're also looking for play-by-play announcers. So if you love sports and you've always wanted to call a sports team, we're definitely interested in talking to you about that. So let us know. As well as halftime reporters. So this is great for anybody who's interested in journalism. You know, you can kind of do an interview beforehand and prepare like a news package. We've also had live interviews on the halftime report. So totally up to you, but super fun and great way to get involved. We also have other opportunities as they come up, so we'll keep you aware of what's happening on our end. So volunteer procedures, most of these opportunities are happening off-site, so make sure you check the date, time, and location before you arrive. If you're having trouble finding anything, just let us know. Typically, we ask people to arrive 30 minutes before the event's scheduled start time. So something else to be aware of as you're planning to arrive. And then if you have to cancel last minute, please reach out and let us know. You know, no harm, no foul. Like, it's volunteers, so things come up and we'll never, you know, be upset for that. But it does help to let us know if something's not going to work out. So, and we'll make sure you have all our personal contact information before the event itself. Okay, so I'm going to show you this video that has the member portal tutorial in it, so you know how to sign up for everything. Hi everyone, so I'm going to show you how to use your High Five Access Media member portal to sign up for events and make reservations. So if you're not already logged in, go ahead and log in. And you can change all of your other kind of profile information through here as well. So I'll let you kind of poke around through that at your leisure. But the two links we're going to focus on here in the sidebar are these two. So upcoming workshops, maker spaces, and lab hours is going to take you to these. So these are all of our kind of like regularly scheduled events where you're going to be working in a group with some different people to kind of learn the skills that you need to learn. So we've got everything posted through the end of 2026. And you should be able to register for any of those from here. If you want to read an event description, if you scroll down from this page, you'll be able to see that here. And then get tickets. So say you can't make it in January, but you want to come in March, then you can click on that and add your membership registration here. So we operate these workshops on a pay what you can model. So if you want to go ahead and sign up that way, then you can. If you're able to contribute the suggested $20 donation, you can add that through here as well. Okay, so I'm going to add those two registrations. Say both Wayne and Garth want to come to the mobile video workshop. We'll come into checkout, fill with my info, and then next we can add Garth. Oops. Okay, so from here you can add an additional donation. So say you weren't able to pay $20, but you could pay $10 or even $1, then you can add that through here. And then your card information will go in these boxes. And then if you want to cover a small processing fee to support us, that would be amazing. And then go ahead and submit your order when you're ready. So to view any events that you've previously signed up for, if you go back into your dashboard and click into registered events, it will show you what we're signed up for. And I already registered Wayne and Garth for that mobile video class in March, so we can see that in here. And this can kind of help you keep track of what you've signed up for. If you need to cancel any of your registrations, please reach out to us directly so we can take care of it on the back end. As you can see, I was doing a lot of tests on this account for Wayne and Garth, so that's what all that is. Next, I'll show you reservations and mentorship. So this will take you to our Calendly. So these are for more of those like one-on-one type of events rather than the group events. So we've got these different event types here, and I'll kind of talk through each of them so you get an idea of what's happening. So podcast studio reservation and edit bay reservation are pretty straightforward. That's exactly what it sounds like. It will reserve either of those two equipments for you, so you can come in and record your podcast or come in and edit your video. So definitely recommend doing these so we can make sure that there's equipment for you. We cannot guarantee availability if you don't make these reservations and just show up. So please make the reservation. Next, we have these two different links for mentorship. So if you want to talk through pre-production and stuff like that, you'll want to schedule a virtual meeting here with me. So this description will kind of jog your memory once you come through that. And then same thing with Brett. So if you want to meet with Brett, you'll be talking more about production and getting some more specified, personalized help on using a camera or making edits you're trying to make, that sort of thing. And you can schedule all this through here. Then I'll kind of click through and demonstrate stuff with the equipment checkout one here. So this one is probably the most involved, I would say. So if you want to check out cameras for an interview or something like that, then you can make the reservation through here. You can only reserve gear that you're already trained on via the corresponding workshop. So say, for example, we're signed up for mobile video here. So after 3/25/2026, say Wayne and Garth want to check out some mobile video gear on Friday the 27th, then we can schedule that here. Say they want to come in at 12:30. We'll fill out details. Okay. If we want to add Garth, you can add Garth. Okay. And then you'll see here that we've got all the different gear that you would be trained on, kind of like itemized here. So what equipment do you need? Say they want to check out all of the mobile video gear, then you can check that. If, for example, Wayne and Garth have only been trained on mobile video, but they select that they want gear from Camera Basics, we're going to get that request and come back to you and be like, hey, exciting that you want to check out this gear here, but you need to take the corresponding workshop. So then we'll kind of direct you back here to register for those events. If you need to check out anything else, you can enter that in here. So say we have a piece of equipment that we have and you know how to use, but you want to add that here, then you can add here. So we have a Zoom remote control that you could add if you wanted to as well. If you have photography or videography experience, you may test out of the workshop by scheduling the meeting with Brett. So how you might want to do that would be schedule, like, say they're coming in again on the 27th. So you could schedule at noon. You want to say test out of Camera Basics. Then you can put in your information, blah, blah, blah. The last one I'll show you would be workshop appointment. So say you really can't make any of these and you need to take a specific class before volunteering or something like that. Or also, for example, if you wanted to learn lighting or some more advanced skills that we don't offer on like a rolling basis, you could come in here, pick your time, and then add. I'm just going to use my name since I can type fast. Okay. So these are the different options that we have for these like workshop appointment type things. So if you want to kind of, pick something that, like, say we want to do branding and graphic design. That's something that we can teach you virtually. So if you wanted to select virtual, then you can go ahead and select virtual through here. In person is always an available option for you. I will say that if you're going to do something that is like a hands-on type of skill, so basic camera operations, you definitely want to come in person. This is something that's going to be really hard to teach via Google Meet, and it's important that you get your hands on the equipment. So just try to be mindful for that when you select your location for that. And then say we want to go ahead and schedule the event. And boom, you're scheduled. You're good to go. You'll get this as an email address, or as an email confirmation, and then you'll also get a reminder email as well. Okay, so as far as youth opportunities go, one of our favorite ones that we offer is the Teen Film Camp. So this is a week-long day camp that we offer at Nottingham Park where teens get to write, shoot, and edit their own film. So if you know of any teens who would be interested in this, we welcome all new members for that. And typically the ages is 13 to 17. So yeah, just let us know about that. And then volunteering is super popular with our youth as well, from Game of the Week and Vail America Days. If you're a Battle Mountain student, then we also have band and choir performances that we help their music department live stream those to YouTube. So typically there's a student volunteer who's coordinating the camera operators for that. So ask the music teachers at school, and then try to get in contact with that student to get involved with those. Um, Eagle Valley has media and journalism programs. So if you're interested in any of those, then you should get involved with that, either by taking the class or by participating in Daredevil Film Festival. And lastly, we do offer internships on a case by case basis to students who are, like continuously involved with High Five. So if you're interested in internships at all, definitely start by taking workshops and volunteering, and then we can kind of go from there as we build the relationship up. Um, Nonprofit partnerships. So these are some of the organizations that we work with most closely. Any other organizations that you see on our website, we work pretty closely with all of them. So if you're interested in being connected with any of them, then let us know and we can help you get in contact with them. Cool. And these are our emails. So feel free to reach out at any time. I'm happy to assist in any way we can. And thanks for becoming a member. We look forward to meeting you soon.